Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. How y'all doing, guys? This is Sheer Thoughts, man. It is amazing to be back, guys. Guys, welcome everyone to season 2. Let's freaking go. Hope y'all have been amazing, guys. Sorry for the little hiatus. Life has been a little crazy. Things have been going on, but we are officially back. We are in 2024. That's scary to say. Jesus Christ, we're in 2024. God, bro, it's wild. That's so crazy. Jesus Christ. But yeah, guys, we're back. We are very, very excited to start season 2. We're very excited for this upcoming season and the things we got planned, things we want to do. New little format that we're going to be doing with you guys. So we're really excited to try that out. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. But yeah, we hope that y'all had an amazing Christmas, an amazing New Year, all that fun stuff. Hope the holidays was amazing for you guys. Hope your January has been going pretty good so far. For both me and Sony, it's been a little hectic. It has been a little up and down. But yeah, before we start, as always, man, you already know we got to do this. Miss Sony Panda, how you doing? How you been? And also, girl, what you rocking? Because I see the patterns. Okay, looking pretty cool. So what we got going on today? What's going on?
Yes. Basically, so these are, I'm good. So unfortunately, I don't really know the brand of these. These just came off Amazon. They were gifted off my Amazon wish list,
Oh, fair
and
enough. Okay.
so I was like, yeah. So it's a promo pending, post, should I say? But yeah, but it's I can't even tell. It's one of those, really weirdly named ones where they don't make no sense, but they try and make a name just to try and sell the pet. It's literally one of those brands. So I'm so sorry, everybody. I can't give you any more information on this. But if you do see my promo post come up at some point, you'll see everything there, and just
There you
do
go.
your bit on Amazon there.
Now it's fishnets, right? Like that from the looks of it, it's just fishnets.
Yeah, so they're like a netted pair. They're not, so I
Interesting,
won't
okay.
call them fishnets. They're just like a wide netted pair. It's like
Gotcha.
stuff I used to do back in the day, Yeah, but
Fair
they're
enough.
they're okay. They're itchy, but yeah, they're all right.
I mean, they look great. All black. Can't ever go wrong with that. And then the
Exactly.
designs on them are pretty cool. I like the little patterns on them. So it's cool
Yeah.
that like you can see some patterns on it. So that's a nice little touch. You can't ever go wrong with that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So I see a bit of shine there. I'm not gonna lie. I keep staring at those legs.
I mean, listen, bro. You already know. It's me. What are we gonna do? You know, Chucks, shiny, just goes hand in hand. You know, it is what it is. But you know, I had to start right for season 2, of course. We got the good old CDRs going on. We got these lovely pair of CDRs. Super Lucido 20s. I feel like that's kind of obvious from the amount of shine coming off of them. And I want to say this color is chocolate. I think it's one of those like. Yeah. We ain't going no door out here, okay? Fucking.
I'm gonna say door.
No. Even though I do have a door pair sitting probably for next episode. That's not the point. But yeah, rocking these bad boys today. Obviously, they're always feeling great. I've also realized that I've definitely lost weight because these are a size 3 and they fit me really well. So I'm really happy about that, to be honest. So yeah, I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good. Everything's going well.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And to be fair, actually, it does, like, not trying to say you were tubs before, but like it does look like you actually have lost a fair bit of weight. So good on you, man.
No, appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, before we get into it today, I kind of had a little topic to talk about, and then kind of something that is quite close to me. For anyone who doesn't know, there are certain things on social media like I just don't post. Like it's funny because a lot of people think like social media is real life and like you always post up everything. Like I always believe that you post up on social media what you want. That doesn't mean that it's fucking real life, bro. You don't always know what people are going through. You don't know the struggles. You don't know what's going on. So I kind of wanted to hit like a little deep topic on the way back today, but it's obviously something that just recently happened, so it's pretty crazy. So for anyone who doesn't know, obviously me and Sony talk, so she knows this, but for anyone who doesn't know, I recently lost my father. It was an interesting thing because I never had a real relationship with him. For anyone who's ever truly known me throughout the years, I always make jokes about my dad not being around. Just things like that, like, and that's my humor. I have dark humor, so it's just natural that like I would joke around things like that. But over the past like year and a half, I was trying to rebuild a relationship with him. I was trying to start getting more connected to him, and we would talk here and there. But sadly, before he passed away, I never had a chance to ever like see him in person one last time. But his whole plan was to try to come out here, and he wanted to in the near future, and we would have obviously hung out at some point or whatever. But it was definitely rough because it was a very weird mix of emotions. When you lose someone who's obviously supposed to be family, who's supposed to be blood, who's supposed to be someone important to you, you're gonna have pain, you're gonna have sadness, you're gonna deal with a lot of things. But it was weird because I don't know, I feel like a lot of times people don't like to share what they're thinking or how they're feeling, but I'm always the type of person where I'm an open book when I need to be, because I'm sure I'm not the only person who's gone through this. I know for a fact I'm not the only person who's gone through this. But yeah, bro, it was just a very weird thing, just because losing him wasn't necessarily like, oh my god, my dad died, this is so painful. It was more of, damn, I lost what it could be. And I think that's what hurts the most, because didn't have a relationship with him. Like I said, I literally hadn't seen my dad since I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old. Like, legitimately. Like, I hadn't seen him in 30 years. So it's crazy. But then, thanks to technology, able to talk, able to communicate, we would do WhatsApp voice messages to be able to talk to each other, which was always great and all. But it was really, I'm always the type of person where I look at the glass half full, never half empty. I like to be more, optimistic about things. So it was nice that I was able to at least speak to him a couple more times before he passed away. But it is a shame because, I sit here and I'd be thinking like, damn, like, what was of his life? What did he do? What was his life story? Because obviously I don't know. I just knew that he was here. He went back to Colombia. He's always been in Colombia, and he just had a life out there. So obviously I never really got a chance to know what his life was after he left from here, from me, and all that stuff. So it was really weird. But he passed away 2 weeks ago by the time that we're recording this. So obviously for the past 2 weeks, I've obviously been doing a lot of thinking about him, just thinking about a lot of different things, and something that truly hit me, something that really got to me recently, and with the amount of praying I was doing, a lot of thinking I was doing, was I realized, bro, what I think is something that a lot of people need to work on, and it was myself included, and it's a shame because, it's always one of those things of, it hits you so late and you're like, fuck, I should have done this different. But, I believe, Sony, as you and I have always talked about, I believe everything in life happens for a reason. That I should have not held on to resentment and anger for so long. And that's something I really should have let go so much sooner. Because, especially nowadays, WhatsApp came out on phones fucking how many years ago? You know what I mean? Like, WhatsApp had been on phones for years. I could have had better communication with him years ago. I could have started building that relationship back years ago. And it's obviously so much easier and so much better to think now. But, clearly I had to go through this loss to understand emotions and process emotions and realize, like, hey, you know what, bro? Like, don't hold on to these things. Life is too short, bro. It's one of those things, bro, that I sometimes sit here be thinking like, damn, bro, like, how would it have been if he came back here? How would it have been if I had gone to Colombia to visit him? How could it have been if, like, I was angry and then, next thing you know, we start hanging out and it's like, damn, bro, like, I am his son. Like, we have these similarities and this and that. So it's a hard thing to process. It's hard emotions to go through because it really is like, fuck me, dude. Like, I lost my dad. I lost my father figure, someone who should have been in my life. He wasn't in my life. But now when I started to rebuild that relationship, it was like, well, shit, like, now he's gone. Like, it's such a crazy fucking feeling. And but I think what was, like I said, I went through a lot of thought processes. I did a lot of thinking, a lot of emotional journey in a way. And it's really interesting how I went from having this anger towards him to having this sadness about him to now being thankful for him. And the reason being why is because last week I went out dancing, and as I was out dancing, it hit me. It was really crazy. I was in the vibe. I was in the moment, fucking enjoying it. It was at this place that I've been wanting to go to forever. The music was fucking immaculate. Like everything was going amazing. And I had this one brief moment of literally standing there, just listening to the music, just enjoying the energy of it, just loving the vibes. That I literally sat there and I was standing there and I literally thought, like, damn, bro, I wonder how it would have been if I got to experience this with him. Like bringing him into my world
Mm,
of dancing to be like, bro, this is what I love. This is my
yeah.
life right here. I tell everyone all the time, bro, I will be 70 years old dancing. If my hips, if my legs, if my knees allow it, I will be fucking dancing. And if I'm in a wheelchair, I'm still fucking dancing. Get the fuck out of my way.
Mm,
I'm gonna crush your toes. Don't try me. Okay, move.
yeah.
I'm be dancing. But I got that passion. I got that love of music and dancing from him. That's the unreal thing about it. And it's just like I may have
Wow.
not known him. I may have not had this connection with him, but I did. I had a connection with him. I had some sort of thing that connected us. And it's because I had a conversation with my mom. And I remember I asked her a couple things. And I was like, she told me, she goes, he always loved breakdancing. I fucking started off breakdancing. That was like my very first real
Mm,
passion of dance was breakdancing. And I remember I asked her one day, I go, was he a really helpful person? Like he'd go out his way? And she went all the time. And I was like, well, shit. I was like, I like to be as helpful as much as I can be, especially for people that I care about, people that are in my life, my friends, my family. If I can help in any way to help them, bro, I'm going to help. That's just who I am
mm,
because I believe in being a good, positive, energetic person. That's just who I am. I'm always going to be like that. I don't let no bullshit phase me. I don't let no negativity phase me. I'm going to be me. And that's always what I've said. So it is unreal, bro, because of the fact that it's like, dude, like I never had this connection with him. I never had a real relationship with him, but he was always my father. But to think there were still things in me of him, even though I never knew him. And it's just like,
mm,
bro, I can't be anything but thankful for him now because if that's who he was, I got that from him. What
mm.
more can I do, bro? Like it is what it is, man. But it's crazy, bro. It's such a crazy roller coaster of emotions to just deal with, to just go through, to process. Because like literally, my mom told me, and I just stood there. I was just like I didn't know what to do. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know whether to
Yeah.
cry. I didn't know whether to be angry. I didn't know whether to be like, well, and when you go through those emotions, you're gonna have your dickhead emotions as well. It's just one of those things. So I remember at one point I sat there and I'm like, well, I didn't have a relationship with anything. What the fuck does it matter? Like it hits you. But I think those emotions hit me because I wasn't processing the emotions of like, fuck, dude. Like I was trying to build something with him. Now it's just gone. Like this sucks. Like, and it really is that. It really is the what could it have been? What could
Mm,
have came of this? And I think that's what hits me the most because
mm,
those are the answers I wanted. That's for sure. So
mm.
it's weird, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I hear that. And I think you hit the nail right on the head there. It is, there's dealing with, I think that's the thing. We've got, oh, what's the best way of putting this? It's exactly how you say it's the what could have
Yeah.
been. And because it's the ifs, it's like, oh, but yeah, but if, what about it? Well, yeah, but what about this? And it's just like, that's the biggest thing
Mm-hmm.
compared to like, no, actually, I could have had the perfect life with him. And or it could have been absolutely horrible, or however it goes. That will be a whole different type of grief compared to, yeah, you're building a relationship, and it is the whole, well, yeah, if he was around a bit longer, we may have seen each other. Do you know what I mean? We may have danced together. We may have done this. We may have done that. Who knows? He might have hated it. It might not have been a jam anymore. It's just that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that whole but what if kind of thing. And that's the killer. And
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
annoying. It's annoying. It's an annoying feeling because you know what it is too. I feel like that's when you start sitting there and all these scenarios run through your head. So you're like, what
Mm.
if this? What if that? Like could it have been? Because that's another big thing I would always think about too, was how different would my life have been if I was raised by him. You know,
Yeah.
I was raised by my mom. I was raised by my mom's family. I've always had nothing but support from my mother's side. From my dad's side, I literally had, in the sense, I literally had four people. My dad,
Mm.
who I didn't have a relationship, I didn't really talk to him, so I didn't know him. My uncle, my actual father's brother, who I loved to death. Like when I was younger, I'd hang out with him. He kind of tried picking up that way of, like, all right, you won't be there for your son. I'll be there for my nephew. I'll treat him like a son
Mm.
because you can't be here. So,
Mm.
and I love that because I love my uncle to death. Um, but my uncle had his own life. He had two kids. He had his wife.
Yeah, yeah.
To bring on another responsibility, it's hard, and I understand that. I have no resentment towards him for
Mm.
any of that. Um, and then I had my grandfather, my actual father's father, who he was trying to be there for me too. We had a beautiful relationship at one point, but again, he had his own life. He had his own wife. He had his own things going on. Um, I mean, I lost my grandfather years ago. I remember he died. Damn, he died over 10 years ago now.
Mm.
And when he died, it hurt. It hurt me a lot, but it was one of, I mean, I was fucking what, 22 at the time, maybe 21 or some shit
Mm.
like that. So, that's during the time where you're rebellious. You think you know the world. It's like, oh, I got this freedom now. So when he died, it hurt. But it was also one of those moments where it was like, well, we haven't had a relationship in like fucking 10 years. So, it is what it is. It sucks that it's gone. It hurts. But I was able to move past that pretty quick in a sense.
Mm.
But then it was like losing my dad. It was like, bro, it was the fact that I think what it was, and it gets to you. I think it fucks with your head because obviously it's not like this, but you're like me. I tend to overthink something, so it starts to get to you. And when you overthink and you start to think these crazy thoughts, and then you start to get
Mm.
into your own head, and you're like, I need to stop this because it's fucked up. It was one of those. I started to hate myself because I was like, oh, we didn't have this relationship because he wasn't there for me. Blah blah blah. Why didn't I try to sooner? Like why
Yeah.
wasn't I should have been the bigger person to be like, you know what? I want these answers. Even if I came off the most aggressive way, being like, where the fuck have you been for the past 30 years of my life? Like, what have
Mm.
you been doing? It would have started a conversation. It would have started a connection. I could have been angry for some time, but I know he would have at least been like, listen, son, like this was what was going on in my life. These are the things that I went through. Like I tried, I always thought about you and this and that. But I held on to this anger for so long that I was just like, well, no, I don't want to fucking talk to him. Like he's not. And that was on me. That was really on me because he still spoke to my mom. He still spoke to my grandmother. But every time they told me, I would be like, well, whatever. Why doesn't he speak to me? It's because I didn't let it.
Mm.
Because I just didn't let it happen. And I should have. And that was on me. Because I held on to this anger. I held on to this grudge of like, well, he fucking left me. So what does it matter? But then again, I don't know his whole life story. I don't know what happened. And I think that's a big thing that like empathy is something we've talked about before. But what I also do think another thing a lot of people truly need to work on is letting go of anger, letting go of resentment, letting
Mm.
letting go of grudges, just to be spiteful, just because why? Just because things aren't going your way. So sometimes
Mm.
you got to put yourself in the most awkward position because fine, it may not go your way, but if you want answers, then you're gonna have to go through something. And I think that's where it is for
Mm.
me. And what I do love though, and what I will say is, before he passed away, I got to speak to him the day before, and I think a
Mm.
big thing for me was our last conversation was a joking, funny one. Like it was something
Yeah.
positive, which helped because I think it would have hurt a lot more if it was like, oh shit, I didn't speak to him for a week and then he was gone. It was like at least I got to speak to him one last time. Um,
Yeah.
and it was on funny terms. It was like it was literally like I asked him how he was doing that day, just following up with him, just being like, hope everything's going well. And it was freezing over here. We've had this ridiculous cold burst in New Jersey. It's fucking insane, dude. But then he messages me back and he's like, oh, I'm just here working. It's just such a hot day. And I replied back like, don't you fucking talk to me about hot days, bro. Like, I'm so mad about that shit.
Yeah.
So I replied that back to him, and he replies to me like laughing, like being like, oh, and then he's like, hey, just come out here, come love the weather. And I'm like, boy, don't test me. I was like, I will fucking be on the first fucking flight out to Colombia, bro. Give me that humidity. I need it. I'm tired of this cold. But we had that moment, and I'm happy that we had that moment, because it was like, it wasn't like, oh, it was just a typical conversation. It was just some whatever shit. It was the fact that we shared a moment of being like, you know what, bro, we had a funny moment of between us being father and son in a good way, that I was smiling, like I was happy about that. But then yeah, bro, it's one of those fucking things, dude, that like, I think for a long time the what ifs is what's gonna kill me. The what ifs will get to me for a while, because it really is like, well, shit, like this sucks. But now I have a very, very big reason to go to Colombia sooner than later, to either talk to his wife, his other kids that he's had, because of course he had a life going on. I have 2 younger sisters that are in Colombia that I'm very tempted to be more involved in their lives, to at least say, like, listen, man, your dad may not be here. I'm his firstborn son. So now I'm like the man that, if they need anything, I'll be there for them as much as I can be, because I mean, it genuinely was painful for me to believe and understand that I lost my father, and I didn't really have a relationship with him. I can only imagine the pain they're going through. Like, their pain is way worse than me, especially a girl losing a father. That bond is the son is closer to the mom, the daughter's closer to the father. That's just always how it is. Your daddy's little girl. So I can only imagine the pain that they're going through. I can only imagine the shit that they're going through, which sucks. It's it's a shitty situation, because it's like, well, damn, bro, like, you just lose the man of your life in a sense. Like, that sucks. It's not a fun feeling. I'm sure it's not. So, but yeah, bro. It's been a crazy 2 weeks with that. It's been wild, bro. It's been a and it's insane, because it's like, well, shit, what a way to start 2024. All right, like, damn, bro. Like, because I was coming into this new year being like, yo, bro, things are gonna start working out, things are going good. Fucking 5 days in, I'm like, fuck, bro, like, this is crazy. And the crazy thing is too, years ago, I was out in England because I was dating this girl, and I was like, oh, I'll spend Christmas and New Year's out there, like, to, like, be away from my family just this 1 year, be with you, because we're in a serious relationship. The 1 year I'm there, my cousin passed away. Bro, my dad died in the exact same day as my cousin. I'm like, exactly. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. So that was like, I was like, you gotta be fucking joking me. So, like, literally, my dad died in the exact same day as my cousin. We're also celebrating my cousin's death. Like, it's just like, bro, this is crazy. Like, it's fucking insane. But yeah, but it's interesting, bro, because obviously ever since he's passed away, I keep learning more and more things about him. And I've never shared this before because I fucking hate my name. And I just, being as like a Colombian person, it's like, why do I have the whitest name in history? But when you get baptized and you go through your communion, your middle name changes or whatever. But my birth name that my mother gave me with my dad is Charles Albert Orozco. Yeah, exactly. No one fucking expects that. Exactly. The really creepy thing is too, though, I just found out that technically I'm a junior, and I never fucking knew this. Because my name in English is Charles Albert Orozco. My father's name was Carlos Alberto Orozco. It is literally the English translation from a Spanish name. Because Charles translation in Spanish is Carlos. So
Yeah.
I'm Carlos. If I were to change my name to Spanish, I'm Carlos. Albert in Spanish is Alberto. It's fucking right there. You can't miss it. So technically, I'm a junior, and I never and I never knew this in my life, bro, because I never knew what his full name was. So I was like, you gotta be fucking joking me, bro. I couldn't believe this shit. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It is interesting, yeah.
It's wild, bro. And
But maybe, you know what? Oh, go on.
no, I was just gonna say that I just find it so funny how he loved breakdancing, and breakdancing was the very first dance that I took it completely, like it engulfed me. So I just find that so crazy. But what were you gonna say?
No, I was literally just gonna say, like, it's interesting how, because obviously we're both big believers in, like, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, it kind of, like, it is what it is, and however it'll be will be, kind of thing. And it is interesting the fact that, like, you've learned so much more about him. Like, obviously, like, while he was still around and stuff, but probably even more so after he's gone. And maybe, like, obviously there's no right way to say this. I don't know how to
No,
say this the right way.
I get what you
But
mean.
it but you know what I mean? It's maybe, like, maybe that's the way you were supposed to have learned about him, rather than actually hearing it from, like, how they say, from the
Yeah,
horse's mouth, in a
yeah.
sense. It's actually like you learn about his life a whole different way, but in a way where it's actually from a memorable way from that other person, like whether it be your mom or your grandma or, like, other cousins and people who do know him. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, yeah, it's interesting. I always find stuff like that super, super interesting.
And
But yeah.
I and you know what though, girl? Like I believe what you're saying. It's so true. Because I remember a story I heard a few years ago. It was this was wild to me. Some when I used to work at my old job, my manager was telling me a story about a friend of hers where they did the whole 23andMe thing to like figure out where you're
Mm.
from and all this stuff and blah blah blah. Uh bro, fucking to come and find out that that so my boss's friend, I think her name, like we'll just say her name is like Diana or something like that.
Okay, yeah,
Uh um their dad had passed away, so then they decided to do the whole 23andMe thing to like learn more stuff like from the culture and everything. So
yeah.
I think her mom, Diana's mom, was like white, and the dad was white.
Mm.
So they believe they're Italian, whatever, blah blah blah. Bro,
Mm.
all of a sudden, and Diana has like a sister or like one or two sisters, or she has siblings or whatever. Bro, to then fucking come and find out that one day they do this 23andMe thing, and like her sisters have like 80% Italian, blah blah blah, German, this and that. To fucking Diana all of a sudden reads her shit, and it goes 75% Colombian, and she goes,
Oh
"I'm
wow.
sorry." They never fucking knew that the mom had a little hookup with a Colombian guy, and Diana was the birth child of that. Right, bro? I was like, what? Like when I heard
Oh
this
my
story,
god.
bro, when I heard this story,
Oh
my
my
boss told
god.
me, I literally just sat there and I was like, there's no fucking way.
No. What a
So then,
way to find out.
what? Bro, after you think your actual father passes away, you find out that you have a
Mm.
completely different father who's Colombian, and you know nothing about this man. So
Mm.
obviously Diana was mad. She was super upset. Obviously at the fact that it's like, yo, bro, you're my mother. You never told me this, making
Yeah.
me believe that like my sisters are like my full blood sisters, to find out that they're half sisters your entire life, and to make you think that your father is not actually your father, that you had a different man. Um,
Mm.
but it was crazy because then my manager at the time, she then goes to tell me that Diana then goes to Colombia to find out all these things about her dad, to then find
Mm.
out that she had all these aunts and cousins and relatives in Colombia. And she then,
Really?
what was it? She then found out that her dad was a pilot. I was like, what the
No
fuck? Bro, the
way.
most randomest shit, dude.
That is actually crazy. I'm so sorry, guys. forgot to put my laptop on charge.
Oh, yep. We don't.
Let's
First,
not
first,
on that.
first episode back, guys. Technical difficulties.
I know already. It's on my side this time.
I know, right? Usually it's me.
Okay, we're good.
Usually it's me. Usually I'm the one that's like, shit, my thing cut off, something happened, fucking problems going on.
Yeah.
Sony
That's okay.
Sony dropping the ball, guys. It's all her. It's all her fault this time.
Apologies, everybody. Apologies. We're back. We're okay.
But yeah, sorry
That's
guys for
crazy.
sorry guys for going off on the rant and kind of just talking about my stuff. But I really just wanted to kind of express out there and get out there that like I really do think people need to work on letting go of grudges, letting go of anger, letting go of like those feelings of just being like, yo, well, blah blah blah. I think sometimes, bro, you have to be the bigger person and just kind of swallow that pride and be like, you know what, bro? Let me just put myself through this so I can get answers. Even if it's just answers, bro, you can at least say you're getting something out of it because you know you swallowed that pride, you held your head up high, and you're like, you know what, bro, fuck this. Let me go through this. Like, I just need to go through this. And I think that's a big thing I've truly learned out of this all, to be honest. It's crazy. It's a crazy fucking feeling.
I hear that.
But guys, so this is kind of us leading into a new little segment that we have going on. That we decided to start doing because we really would love to involve you guys as well, especially because Sony and I love talk about anything. We love giving our opinions, whether you think it's right or wrong or whatever. We just share our thoughts. That's the whole point of the podcast. So on a weekly basis now, guys, we are going to start posting up questions on our Instagram. We're going to post it up about 3 to 4 times a week, just so then we always get to like remind you guys if you get a chance to ask a question that time, you can ask a question another time. And then if your question doesn't ever get answered, it doesn't mean that we won't get to it. Obviously, we're just going to answer a couple questions here and there, depending how our rants go, because you know me and Sony. But then we'll always bank these questions, so we don't ever want you guys to think that we're ignoring a question. We'll get to a question. It's just that it may not be in that exact episode. But we really want to start doing this because we would love to see what kind of questions you guys have. I mean, please make them interesting. You know, like you guys could obviously ask any question. Yeah. But man, I love a question that makes me think, bro. I do. I love having a question that makes you think because then it brings up a conversation and then it gets really fun. So any questions you guys have, please go ahead and ask. Please make them appropriate. Obviously, we're not going to answer some stupid questions, guys. Let's be real here. We're all adults. Let's just, let's be appropriate about things, please. Obviously, if you guys want us to answer maybe some more inappropriate questions, depending how they are, check out the Patreon, become a member. It's a little more, a little more free flow and open mindedness over there. Also,
no, everything flies there.
Yeah, bro, we don't care. But before we get into the questions, I did want to say, guys, thank y'all so much for the support that we've still been having. Obviously, we haven't posted in a few weeks because life was going crazy. But we love y'all so much. We thank you guys so much for that support. Also on the Patreon, a few more people have signed up, so we do appreciate that. A quick little thing, we won't have any Patreon episodes for this month. We're getting some Patreon content ready for next month to start season 2 of the Patreon, so just stay tuned for that. But we're working on some things, so we're very, very excited. But Sony, I know you got the questions for us, girl, so please go right ahead. Please go right ahead. This will be fun.
I get the privilege of doing this. I love this.
This is
so. Okay, so we've obviously got a few. So we're going to try and, depending on the question, obviously, like how Chuck said, if it's one that can be kind of lengthy, we're probably going to keep it to one. But if it's kind of like cutesy, simple questions, we'll do a few. So, okay, so one that I've got here. So this is kind of aimed at me, but Chuck's, I'll ask you the question as well. So it goes, Sony, I know you used to be a bookworm. Are you still reading? Yeah, I am. I'm getting back into reading. That was one of my things for 2024 was to actually try and limit my screen time, limit social media, and actually get back into my books because I have way too many that like I need to start. I bought them and I'm so waiting.
You have them stacked up and you're like, I gotta start.
I have them stacked up ready. So it's like already like, okay, come on, you've got to fit. Because I hate like starting a book, like leaving it and then starting another book. I can't do that. It's like same with like series and like I've got to finish a series to then start another. I can't dabble in 5, 6 different things. It's just because then they all merge and then you're like, what is a storyline? So yeah, I like to be immersive. Chuck, are you reading anything at the moment? Any
I don't
books or
read.
anything?
Not gonna lie to you guys. I don't read.
Oh,
I'm terrible at reading. I'm much more of a visual person. So I
mm,
prefer to watch videos. I prefer to watch TV shows, movies,
fair
things
enough.
like that. I'm very big into YouTube, so like I watch a lot of shit. But I will say this: I am actually gonna start pushing myself to read more because one, a big thing a friend taught me one time was reading is, and I never thought of it in this way, but I never realized this. Reading is actually working out the mind. I never knew that. I never actually understood that.
Mm,
Um, and a big thing too, my friend taught me was you should read because that'll actually teach you more vocabulary. And I'm like, when I talk, I feel
mm,
like I sound like an idiot. I feel like I always say the same thing over and over again. And I would like to broaden my vocabulary. I would love to have
mm.
some more intellectual conversations because sometimes I could be very, very stupid. Not sometimes, pretty much most of the time. Um, but I am going to start reading. But I kind of want to. I'm going to dabble more into like fiction and then kind of go into nonfiction. I, I I'm I'm very big into like autobiographies. I love learning about people's
Mm,
lives. So of course,
yeah,
watching a video on it is cool and all, but a book is different because you can be so much more detailed in a book that it's
yeah.
like I think I'm actually gonna start. I'm honestly gonna start reading more. So I'm excited to start doing
Mm.
that myself too.
I hear that. I hear that because I'm with you. Because it's like, especially with books, like one thing I love, like one, they always say the film and the book is never the same.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
one thing I
Huge
love
thing.
about a
Yeah.
book is like you're using your own imagination to create that scene. So watching a scene anyway on TV is just one thing, it's done for you. Whereas like in a book, one thing I love about books, especially fiction books, is you're creating your own characters and your own scenes, like you're playing it out how it would be. Like perceptions are different, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Agreed.
it is just, yeah, I love a good book that can make me do that. Um, okay, so next question. So, what are your guys' hobbies outside of the hosiery world? So I feel like we've kind of touched upon it a little bit before,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
obviously I think this is somebody who's probably new. So,
Which is fair. That's totally fine. Um, I mean, I'll answer this one first then because I have quite a bit of hobbies, which is really funny.
mm,
Fucking ADHD to the max, bro. Let me tell you. Um, I mean, so for anyone who doesn't know, I play a lot of video games. I've been a very, very big gamer my whole life. I'm actually starting this week. I'm getting back into streaming. So if you guys want to definitely catch some of the streams, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. Um, so like I love to game. I love to stream. Obviously dancing. I've mentioned dancing plenty of times. Dancing is probably my highest passion hobby. Um, because I don't care where I am. I'm always gonna dance. I don't give a fuck if it's like the most littlest fucking jig. I'm gonna dance, bro. But then I also love doing random things like I enjoy photography. I enjoy building Gundam models. That's super random, but like I I've really come to realize that like I like creating things. So Gundam building is such a big thing to me because I have terrible ADHD. So like bro, there are times where I literally will sit here on my PlayStation 5 and be like, what do I want to play? I have 45 fucking games and be
mm,
like, what do I want to play? Like, I can't focus on it. But Gundam building
yeah,
is really nice because I have to solely focus on piece per piece per piece per piece. That it makes your mind be like, okay, you can't jump here, jump there, do this. Like, you have to be like, okay, this piece goes here. I need
yeah,
this part for this part. Okay, one arm is done. Now let me work on the leg. Now let me work on the other leg. Now let me work on
mm,
the body. So it's nice because I also feel like that helps with my ADHD because it keeps me focused to be able to be like, okay, I have to focus on this one thing. So, but
yeah.
I have many different hobbies, I would say, but I mean, yeah, bro, I just enjoy doing a lot of different things, bro. I just enjoy doing things to live life. Just live your life how you want to enjoy, bro.
Mm,
That's what I believe in.
no, I hear that. I'm exactly the same. To be fair, I don't like to just have a certain one hobby and that's it. That's all it
Yeah.
is. It's I like to dabble in different things because it is life skills at the end of the day, and it makes you just. I feel more interesting because I'm learning so many different things with different hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but speaking of mine, so mine's is obviously well, okay, no, my brand is not a hobby. Take that out. What the hell? Thinking that my brand's my hobby. So blogging, fashion blogging is collecting a lot of shoes is. Reading obviously definitely is. It's always been a huge passionate thing of mine. I've now obviously got into fitness and training and eating better, eating healthier. Um, So that's a like I've always had it. I used to be like a huge gym bunny back in the day, like 2016, 15. I used to like really train, stopped, and then obviously started again a couple of years ago, stopped, and then now I'm like, no, I kind of want to build it into my lifestyle.
Nice. Smart.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So no, yes, I think they're probably like my main, but standard, it's like whatever I can try and get my hands on. It's like I would like to do crocheting at some point, but then also I need patience for that.
I
I'm
feel like
working on my
more I
patience.
feel like more and more people have just been randomly picking up crocheting lately. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but I swear it's just been a thing
Yeah.
lately. I don't know why. I it's funny that you say that because then I've literally my one of my best friends was literally telling me that his sister crocheted him a blanket for Christmas and
Yeah.
she
That's so
started
sweet.
last year. So she had worked on it the entire year to give it to him as a
Wow.
present. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is? This one I see people on tubes doing it just randomly. Like one thing I love about it is one, they're not on their phones, whereas like 99% of people on tubes are on their phone. Um, but you know what? I suppose it's that whole thing of one, you're focused. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
it's you're
Oh yeah,
having the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing of like you're
Exactly.
building something,
Yes.
whether it's a blanket or a hat or like I don't know if they probably do it in the USA, but here in the UK, there's some people who actually so we've got like the red post boxes.
Hmm.
They crochet a little top, like a little topper. So sometimes they do it like if it's winter themed, they'll do like a little snowman, winter wonderland. We had like obviously when the whole Ukraine thing was going on, they had like the Ukraine flag in
Wow,
summertime. They'll have like little people doing a picnic. It's like honestly, some
bro.
people are
That's
incredible.
unreal. That's
But
unreal.
yeah, but it was just but the most wildest one. Don't ask me how I've just remembered this, but the wildest one that actually got me thinking about crocheting. Not that I will ever do this. I'm just gonna put it out there right now. Is there's a woman, right? Oh, years ago I saw this. I don't know if she still does it now or whatnot, but she had a ball of yarn
Mhm.
and had it up her genitals and would crochet out of that. So when she had a period, it would be in her blanket. And yeah, she would crochet like that for a whole year. So you could see the whole of like, okay, it's just clean to we're now in a period to after a period to clean to it. You know what? And I'm one of so I'm very open minded, right? I
No, I know exactly where you're going with this. Yes.
to me I think that was bloody cool. I thought it was flipping brilliant and I thought it was so interesting and so different and oh my god, what the hell, like what the hell was her reasoning for this? I don't know if she did have a reason for it or not, but I love the fact that it was a whole different concept,
No,
like
that's
no
yeah.
one's ever done it.
Hell no.
It's just
Son,
it's just different.
that is so out of the box. Let's be fucking real.
Yeah,
Anyone hearing that and face value is immediately gonna be
yeah.
like, "What the fuck is this?
What the hell?
She's
Yeah,
fucking crazy. That is disgusting. This is the most weirdest thing
yeah.
possible." The problem is though is that when people are too close-minded, when they just have a one-directional mind, when they're not open-minded
Mm.
enough, don't get me wrong. Hearing this, I'm kind of like that just sounds kind of nasty because I'm thinking of like health issues. But when you
Mm.
really open your mind and looking at from an artist way, a creator way,
Yeah.
just thinking what it could be,
Wow. Yeah.
the way I'm looking at it is like, bro, she crocheted her menstrual life cycle for a year to like show because then that would mean this is how I'm going to see it. Men never understand how a woman goes through their period because obviously we're men. We're never
Mm.
going to fucking understand that. So as men grow older, you start to know more women who could get comfortable talking about their periods. You've always heard randomly, oh, well, my period is heavy here, or I go with this, or I suffer through this.
Mm.
So to me, the way I see it, it's like, bro, she's crocheting out of her vagina, which is wild. But two, it's like, dude, this woman literally, if she did it for a year, that means that she crocheted things out of her vagina for a year to show you
Yeah.
Maybe 1 month it was really bad. Maybe another month it wasn't that
Yeah.
bad. Maybe 1 month she was struggling through something. Maybe this,
Yeah.
because then the way I also see it is, if you're doing it and you're supposed to be doing it along the timeline of a year, that means there are probably spots in her fucking thing that are like, that were like she was a week late, could have been 2 weeks late, something could have happened. Like, bro, you don't know. So it's
Mm.
like, I'm picturing it as like, bro,
Yeah.
she crocheted you her life in a way, in a
Yeah.
very personal way,
Yeah.
but in a way that it's like, this is fucking insane. But as a creator, as an artist, you're like, this is kind of cool. Like, this is not something
Yeah.
you see every day. So
Yeah.
I'm so torn. Like, I don't know. Like,
This is the
it's
thing.
weird, bro.
This
Like,
is the thing. Because honestly, I was first. I was like, what the hell? Like, and naturally, like, because this is the thing. I'm very much like, so I'm a period talker. So I let everybody know in my life when I'm, because the thing is, I see it as it's a natural thing.
it
Like
is, bro.
women have babies.
Yes, yes.
We clean out our uterus every month or whenever it decides to show up. But like, it's a natural cycle. It's mother nature at her best. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's one, it should be spoken about. It's There's no taboo thing about it. But then also, not only that, it's I found it so interesting, the fact that, yeah, from an artist perspective, it's so different and it's thought provoking. It gets you talking, it makes you think. And whether it is, oh my God, that's disgusting, being your initial thought, to actually, do you know what? That's kind of cool. Like, I still might not vibe with it, but from like her perspective, it's like amazing. So that's what I mean. That's what I loved about it. Was, I remember when I told my mom about it, I told my sister, I told everybody about it. And it was so interesting watching their reactions go from there to wow, why?
Like, when you
And a
actually
lot of it
hear
was
why
why.
yes, when you actually hear why they're doing it, then you're like, huh. Like,
Yeah.
it starts to hit you, because then you're like, wait a minute. Like, this is not what I thought. Like,
Mm.
because yeah, bro, it's a lot of times, bro. You could hear, but like, you could see someone painting rocks. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck are you painting rocks? Why are you painting
Yeah.
these boulders? Like, you kind of look stupid. But then next thing you
Mm.
know, this man paints all these rocks. You look at it from a fucking top view in the sky, and it's like, yo, son,
Yep.
he painted all these
Yep.
rocks to create this massive fucking painting that is all these rocks individually fucking painted.
Mm.
Bro, it's unreal. Like, I think one of the most fascinating artist things I've ever seen was this guy who would, and it's crazy. He would just take paint on his hand and just start doing it on this board, on this paper, just blah blah blah,
Oh
blah, blah, blah.
wow.
All of a sudden, you're like, what is he making? What is he doing? What's going
Mm.
on? He'd finish the painting, flip it over, and then you'd see the image. So I'm
Yeah.
like, he did this shit upside
Yeah.
down? Like,
Yeah. I love stuff like that.
and then on top of that, you got all that detailing with just your hand? There's no
Yeah.
fucking way. Like, there's just
Yeah.
no way, bro. Like, it's things like, this is why I say, bro, like, you can't judge a book by its cover. You don't know. Like, bro, that's why
Mm.
it's very funny to me, because being a photographer, I've done photo shoots in public. And you'll get the stares, you'll get the looks, and be like, oh, what do they do? Yeah, bro, because you're seeing it from your angle and you don't know what's going on. But when you then see that photo, you're like, oh, that's a really dope shot. Yeah,
Yeah.
son, because it's from my angle, it's from my perspective. And people don't think
Mm.
like that. That's the problem.
Mm.
They just don't think like that. They just think it in their own way, and then that's it. It's the only way. You can't do that, bro. Especially when it comes to art.
Mm.
No matter what the art is, whether it's dancing,
Yep.
whether it's this, because realistically, bro, being a dancer, when I'm dancing, I'm doing certain moves, and I'm like, damn, this kind of feels like, I feel like I look silly. But then you see it from a viewer's perspective, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that was a pretty fucking dope move. Like, that's how it is.
Yeah.
It's always going to be from a different viewpoint, bro. And that's how people don't see it.
Yeah. This is the thing. It's like how I say, everybody has a different perception of everything. Everybody looks at art a very different way. Like it's yeah, it intrigues me. But yeah, I remember bringing her up years ago. It was a big conversational piece. But that's what I loved about it. It became a
Yeah.
conversational piece.
Yeah.
It was no longer it to actually people did talk periods.
Mhm.
People did talk about actually a woman and her body and everything that it does go through, compared to, not trying to sound bad or anything, but compared to like a guy who doesn't really go through much in comparison. It is just like, yeah, it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was such a, like, it was actually quite an inspirational piece. Like, obviously some people are going to be like, ew, how the hell can you call it that? But to me, it's actually a very, from a woman point of
No, of
view,
course, yes, of
it
course.
actually was a very big thing to be like, yeah, you're trying to break the taboos here. You're trying to break the stigmas here. Yes, you're doing it in a very unconventional way, but that's why I rate it, because I was like, I'm one of those. I love controversy. I love stuff like that. So a part of me was like, yes, please give me more of this. I
Yes.
need to see more of this. So
I
yeah,
I love when things get shaken up because then it starts to show you the people who are like don't understand it, and you're like,
yes,
I get it though. Like I know what you're
mm,
trying to do. But to me,
mm,
I love getting things shaken up because then that goes to show you you're not open minded. You don't see things a different way. You only see things one
yeah,
way. That then I hope they start to change because that's kind of the other thing too.
mm,
So
mm,
that's I see that though. I like that. I respect that. That's different. That is so different.
yeah.
That's so different, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. On that note,
I was gonna say, and on that one, guys, we're gonna end it there. That was a pretty interesting question and story to end it on. Uh,
yeah.
but guys, as always, man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, guys. Officially in season 2, officially here,
Mm-hmm.
officially going, man. And yeah, you all stay tuned, man. We're gonna see you guys next week, and we're really excited to bring you more, a lot more stuff in season 2. Especially because we're definitely going to have some guests lined up. So we're definitely going to get more
Yep.
guests on this season. So we're very excited. So as always, guys, y'all take care. Much love. God bless. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, guys.